Are you worried about the high import bill on food? Does Nigeria have the potential to produce enough food for her citizens? The deployment of agricultural biotechnology has the potential to tackle the challenge of poor yield, pest infestation, disease attack, drought, and other environmental challenges. Biotechnology in Focus is a program designed to enlighten you on the benefits of application of modern science in agriculture as against the misleading information against the technology. Join Ifeanyi Ugoke as he engages seasoned experts, scientists, and other relevant stakeholders on agricultural biotechnology on Thursdays, 10:05 a.m. on Vision FM 92.1 Abuja. Agricultural biotechnology, a sure way to food security in Nigeria.
The land is green, it's green, oh, oh.
Glad to have you join us on this week's edition of the program, Agricultural Biotechnology in Focus on Vision 92.1 FM Abuja. My name is Ifeanyi Ugoke. Agricultural Biotechnology in Focus is an enlightenment program to educate you on benefits of agricultural biotechnology. On this edition of the program, our topic of discussion is: to what extent can deployment of agricultural biotechnology ensure food security in Nigeria? With me to discuss the topic are two renowned farmers, Chief Daniel Okafor. He is the Vice National President of All Farmers Association of Nigeria, in charge of root and tuber crops. He is also the National President of Potato Farmers Association of Nigeria. And Musa Labaran Mwamba, the Auditor General of the Federation of Agricultural Commodity Association of Nigeria, FACAN. I will engage Chief Okafor first, and after the break, Labaran takes the stage. We take a short break. Stay tuned for the incisive and thought-provoking discussion. Chief Okafor, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
To what extent can deployment of agricultural biotechnology help Nigeria achieve food security?
Actually, biotechnology is a product of science, and without science and biotechnology, the farmers cannot enjoy. What am I trying to tell you? Where we talk about improved seed, improve environmental aspects, and improve biofortification, and we are talking about malnutrition. A lot of biofortification is being done now to tackle malnutrition in the whole world. Nutrition is basic things that makes a lot of problem. You may have some sicknesses, like we know about the people that normally be short, stunted people, because of malnutrition. And a lot of people are suffering for many diseases. Some are suffering for the eye problem, some suffering for a heart attack, and many diseases. It's lack of nutrition. So we are talking about how to embrace these products. GMO products is not bad. A lot is happening in Nigeria where people are saying that the biotechnology GMO product is not good. But we, the farmers, said it's not like that, because we have gone around through the whole world. We have gone to Argentina, America, Brazil, South Africa. Everywhere that we went, we noticed that with the biotechnology, the farmers will enjoy. The incomes of the farmers will improve. And a lot is to happen when we talk about people criticizing the science. If there is any proof, scientific proof of what they are talking about, we can talk about it. But in this case, we have not seen any scientific proof. So we are encouraging our farmers, advising our scientists, professors in the universities, to do more research on this science and technology, and to do more research about the GMO and come out with approved GMO for Nigerians. The one that we are talking about is our universities, the one that is coming from the institutes of agriculture and other. Let them come out with the GMO that will suit Nigeria environment. Without having enough food in the table of Nigerians, we are talking about food security. We can't achieve it. But we need more food. We need to embrace GMO products. we need to improve in science. Our scientists are now being called upon because actually we don't want to bring the GMO from outside the country. We want our scientists to do and to improve in their own science ways. We are the farmers. We know a good product. Our farmers will increase their products.
On this area you talked about, a professor in Ahmadu Bello University Zaria has almost concluded work on improved species of cowpea beans that is disease resistant, that is drought resistant, and has early maturity. To what extent can this help farmers and help Nigeria in achieving food security?
You know, he is my friend. The professor is my friend, and he has done a lot of work and a lot of trials. We are happy that he carried us along when he is doing the trial, and we noticed that the kind of the work he has done, the farmers' economy must rise up. If you see the way it grows in their field, in where he's doing the trial, you will know that a lot will be benefited when it comes out fully. So we are urging the government to do the needful by approving all what is there and bringing out for the farmers to start growing immediately.
On this area you talked about, this genetically modified cowpea has the ability to reduce the number of sprays, use of pesticides in growing cowpea. How will this help farmers?
You know, in actual sense, that's why I say the war of people selling chemicals to the GMO is something that is happening. I know with the GMO, the disease-free cowpea, farmers don't need to spend much money in chemicals. You know, a lot of farmers are dying because of use of chemicals. Use of chemicals is not the best, but this very particular GMO product that they brought out, environmental aspect, we are going to gain a lot. And I know the farmers, when the improved variety comes, we are going to embrace it because we want the farmers to rise. And you know, we are talking about food security. Nigeria, according to what they said, that we are going to be up to 500 million Nigerians. How can you feed the number of the Nigerians we are talking about, we have a population we are talking about? And we must be careful.
Recently, the committee on naming and release of product approved the release of 2 varieties of BT corn. How will this enhance the income of farmers and help in reviving the moribund textile industry in Nigeria?
The issue of the newly released BT cotton, in fact, we are jubilating. We the farmers are jubilating because I know in other countries like China, like Brazil, the BT cotton have been existing for long and they have been enjoying the textile industry that are moribund in Nigeria. We now start to enjoy. The reason is that for the past many years, the variety that we have cannot even do well. The farmers cannot raise money to even feed themselves or train their children. But this time around, we are happy that the government have done the best they can. I know the BT cotton is the only way to go. As far as I'm concerned, the farmers in Fontua that I met last week, they have already formed themselves into art growers and they are waiting for the seed to be given to them to make sure that the BT cotton is available to the farmers. With this now, the Texas industry are very, very happy that now they will all be in business.
At this juncture, we take our major break, and when we return, Labaran takes his turn.
Are you worried about the high import bill on food? Does Nigeria have the potential to produce enough food for her citizens?
This technology has come to offer major solutions to agricultural productivity in Nigeria.
Rising on the low level of awareness and understanding of modern biotechnology among Nigerians, the anti-GMO activists have turned an otherwise scientific and technical issues into moral, cultural, and ideological debates.
Rumor is that which spreads very fast. Someone who does not know shouldn't provide information for you.
Join Ifeanyi Ugoke as he engages seasoned experts, scientists, and other relevant stakeholders on agricultural biotechnology on Thursdays, 10:05 a.m. on Vision FM 92.1 Abuja. Agricultural biotechnology, a sure way to food security in Nigeria.
You are welcome back to the program. Labaran, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Ifeanyi.
How can adoption of agricultural biotechnology help Nigeria in achieving its target of food security?
The adoption of a research technology application in the agricultural sector is key to agricultural development if it is actually implemented the way it is supposed to be. By that I mean, if the research findings were to be strictly followed up to its application, I strongly believe it will go a long way in uplifting the agricultural development in this country.
In Nigeria, a number of scientists have developed crops that are resistant to disease.
Yes.
Crops that are resistant to drought.
Yes.
And crops that are fortified with essential nutrients.
Yes.
Let's take it one after the other.
Yeah.
To what extent can deployment of agricultural biotechnology in area of development of crops that are disease resistant help Nigeria achieve food security?
If you look at it realistically, the disease that attack crops, we have never found a lasting solution to each. But if the research have gone to the extent of developing crops that can resist these attacks from the insects and other diseases, I think that would be a great achievement, because a lot of these crops are wasted in the farms because of these diseases attacks. So if we have crops that can resist this attack, I think it would be a great advantage to the farmers in terms of production, food security, because the yield is affected once you have this attack on the crops by the diseases, by insects, by pests and other things that affects it. So it affects the yield, the final result. For instance, if you take beans, for instance, you discover that beans, if it is attacked, at the end, when you harvest, you see that the beans are broken into pieces, or they have some color, you see the diseases that have eaten it, and naturally they are not supposed to be consumed by human beings. But our local people do consume them like that.
One professor working in Agricultural Research Institute in Zaria, Professor Ishako, has developed a variety of cowpea that is disease resistant and is only maturing.
Yes.
How will this help farmers that are interested in cultivation of this cowpea, these beans?
I think it will really go a long way in helping the farmers to boost their production, and then it will help them to earn more from farming the crop if these research findings were to be allowed to be applied.
That takes us to the area of development of crops, plants that are drought resistant. In Nigeria today, we are being faced with the challenge of desertification in the north and short period of rainfall.
Yes.
How will that be of benefit to farmers in that area?
Actually, when you look at specifically, when you talk of the cowpea, the beans, and you discover that it will help because these are the type of crops that do not like too much rain. You see, if we want to take, especially the climate change, if you want to take advantage of crops, there are crops that prefer much rainfall. There are crops that can do with a little of the rainfalls. When you look at cowpea, for instance, you look at sesame seed, for instance, they do not need much rain to be able to grow. And they do well when under a situation where the rainfall is little. So we concentrate on crops that we want to take advantage of little rainfall in this part of the country. I think that would be to a great advantage.
To what extent can this deployment of modern technology in agriculture check high importation of crops, especially those crops that can be produced in abundance locally?
I think that is why, as I earlier said, if the country can address this problem deliberately to ensure that there's high production of some of these things, crops that are being imported. Let's take rice, for instance. If you look at the production of rice, in the average, at least we produce about over 50% of the rice we consume locally. Unlike before, that about 90% of our rice was dependent on import. And I think by this development, this progress, we believe strongly that the importation of rice is being affected. And the more we uplift our technological base in terms of value addition, you will have no need for any importation. You will rather depend whatever you want in that country is equally here, if not, if possible, better off here, because we have the technological know-how to be able to add value to it so that it will equate the one we import, if not better.
Okay, finally, on area of encouraging research institutes, researchers to come up with their findings, what advice do you have to give researchers and even the government alike to ensure that the research findings are not left in the shelf?
Maybe to the government, I will want to appeal strongly because they should emulate other developed countries in the areas of agricultural development. The countries that are self-sufficient, if you look at their own example, they fund these researches and they ensure that every research conducted is tested and carried out and applied, not just left in the archive.
What is your advice to farmers on area of accepting new technologies to enhance their income and boost their production?
The farmers, the farmers are more practical in this case. If you want to convince them, test these research findings before them. When it is tested and they are convinced, they will see the yield, they will confirm it and say, no. This is what they must go for. They are easily convinced by what they see. They don't believe what they never see, they believe in what they see. So I think that's the area I would suggest the farmers can be encouraged. This research finding should be tested before them, brought to their doorstep so that they can learn to apply it.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts on the program.
Thank you very much.
This is where we draw the curtain on today's edition of the program, Agricultural Biotechnology in Focus, on 92.1 FM Abuja. Keep a date with us for another interesting edition. I am Ifeanyi Ugoke.